Donnie, how was your week, man?
What day is it? I really don't even know.
I was hoping you weren't going to ask.
It's been a crazy week.
Do you know what day it is?
One of the middle ones.
One of the middle ones.
We're good.
That's right. That's right.
So we got a little bit more left in the week, but it's
Yeah.
been a great week. We're building springtime is about forming the stuff that's going to fill out the rest of your year.
Yes.
Every year it's that way for us. And it's been an insane springtime so far.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's been a lot of web design on my end that I've been doing for my business and a whole bunch of stuff for Shoot the Veil, and keeps me busy. But I like it that way.
Yeah, it's good.
It is good. Well, guys, it's a big day. I'm excited to do this. Welcome to Shoot the Veil, by the way. This is where we connect, create, and grow as photographers. We're growing our business. We're connecting with each other, and we're learning to create better. Today is a really fun day because it is the official, what do you call this, judging of the giveaway.
We're going to get judgy today.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Judgment Day, people.
Wow.
That's a nice warm welcome for everybody. A little disclaimer. We do not know who uploaded these photos. We are looking at this blank slated, so we know most of you guys on here, but we don't know who took these photos. Your names are not on it, and I said it that way so that when we judge, there's no bias or anything like that. So we're going to kind of look through all these images and not give them, what we like about them and certain little tips and like that. And then we're going to, at the end of this, we're going to give away the winner.
We'll crown a winner.
That's right.
Winner. And as we get started, let's talk about a little bit of the rules. So there are 5 basic categories of how we're going to be judging. It can't just be I kind of like that one better, right? So we've got some rules. Composition is the first one. So the rule of thirds, architectural awareness, kind of are they making sure that all the ratios work? How are they using negative space? All those are kind of just some basics of photography.
Oh, yeah.
And then fundamentals, talking about just color, exposure, light, just the technical stuff. Because if you really screw up that, but it's a cool picture, you might still get points for cool, but you're going to lose points for taking a good picture.
Right.
Apparent complication is one that I like a lot. In watches, you pay more for complications. That's what they call them. Like if it can tell you the phase of the moon, that's a whole lot more complicated than just telling you the date.
Right.
Right. So you pay more for these extra complications.
Yours is like, I love your watch story. Not to throw us off, but that's a cool watch. We have to talk about that another time.
24 hours in a day.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool. We'll talk about that. One hand. Apparent complication means when you look at this picture, you think, how did they do that? Or, wow, I'm impressed that they were able to accomplish that. So that's a viewer looks at the picture and perceives the complication. So that's cool. Also, we love this story and emotion. Like, does this picture make you feel something? Can you imagine being that bride or that whoever's in that picture, what that moment meant to them? So is there something for us or something for them that we can perceive? That's kind of that leads to that next one, which is just this wow factor that sometimes you just get goosebumps when you see a picture. You think, oh my gosh, that's amazing. For all 1,000 reasons you can't even name. So that's that last factor is just sort of over the top wow. And so we put that in the category as well. So as we go through these that's what's in our mind, so that we have to have some kind of objective way to get to an answer of the winner is.
Yes. That's awesome. One more thing I want to put out to you guys listening on Spotify. Along with Joe Rogan, Shoot the Veil also provides video.
Yeah.
So if you want to check in and see the pictures we're looking at, you're welcome to do that. Just click up and you'll see the video of this. And we're going to be putting the pictures that we're judging on screen.
Yeah.
This little thing. You may be driving. You may not be able to do that. Just go back and look later.
Officially, do not do it while you're driving.
Yeah, that's a disclaimer.
We are legally safe. Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about all of them first.
Let's do it.
And kind of roll through. And then we've chosen 5 that we agreed these would be the ones that we should go through in depth and kind of share.
Awesome.
So first one, I love all of these. Thank you, all of our members, for submitting. These are really good.
They are really good.
It was fun to go through these.
It's going to be hard to pick a winner. And I don't mean that cheesily. I mean, it is like really good photos in here.
All right. So this one.
At the altar. Wow.
Beautiful.
I love that.
I like it too. What do you love about it?
I love, there's so many little things. I like that there's a little reflection. I don't know if that's like glass at the bottom of the floor, but I can kind of see that. Obviously, just a perfect landscape. And then it's very symmetrical.
Yeah, symmetry is important. This one is very peaceful. You can see the breeze because her veil's blowing back, which I love. So it feels like kind of you want to be out on that balcony.
Can you hear it?
Yeah,
I can hear
the
it.
waves.
I can hear it. It's something about the veil's toss.
Yeah.
You can hear the waves. It's black and white, but I can sit down and watch it.
I like thinking about the fact that the photographer put them out there, got them in a moment, and then left them and came way back to the back of the room and shot a picture with it, used silhouette. So it's really good. There's a lot of good things happening in this picture.
It's quiet. It's peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Makes us feel good. Let's go to the next one.
Let's do it.
This is a sweet image.
That's emotional. I don't know what it is.
I hope I'll get married when I grow up is the name of this picture.
That's the perfect title. That is the perfect title.
Yeah. Composition wise is great. The little girl's looking up at the dress. You can imagine that was like a real moment. Like it doesn't feel staged. Like it feels like that little girl's really
definitely
doing
that's
that.
not staged. I love that. That's so awesome. Cool story. So, my wife and I, when we got married, let me step back. When she was a little girl, she was a flower girl for her aunt. And 20 years later, now that her aunt's daughters were our flower girls.
Yeah.
So it's like this full circle, and that kind of reminds me of that.
I love that, man. Family memories happening for generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the next one. That's just beautiful. I love that.
This is a fun one. This one, so this is one of those kind of images that if you're that bride, this picture means a lot to you.
Right. She
That-
probably loves that Coca-Cola. This is open happiness. This is good.
I could see Coke buying this image, and
They better.
Yeah. So there's a lot of emotion for her. It's a cool moment. She
Definitely.
walked out.
I want to ask what the story was behind it.
Yeah, there's got to be a story. Who knows what that story is, but it's provocative. All right, we're going to come back to this one. I love this one. This one was sort of at the top of my list too. Wedding Day on the Rocks. So it's kind of a fun title.
On the Rocks. That's a good title. Man.
There's a lot of good happening here. There's a moment with a couple where they're really doing this. They're not just posed. They're actually taking a stroll along the beach. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like that the photographer didn't include their faces.
Yeah.
For our purposes, it's kind of cool. It leaves a lot to the imagination. If I'm the bride and groom, it's making me focus on something other than what do I look like.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually really important.
That's really important. That's a good thing to touch up on.
When you put the bride's face, the groom's face into a picture, the only 90% of what they're looking at is do I like the way my face looks in this picture?
Mm-hmm. So you eliminate that possibility of them not liking something.
How many times have you taken a picture that you thought this is an amazing, gorgeous picture, but the bride actually just doesn't like the picture because she happened to be smiling in that way that she hates?
Yeah, that's so good. I've
I've done that so many times. So this one, it's cool. Photographers do something where you don't show their face and you can play with the art of the photography.
Definitely.
So that's kind of cool. So this one's a great picture. I love
Wedding Day on the Rocks.
Love it. Let's see. What does it say? This was one of those moments when you realize how much you love your job. Yeah.
That's cute. I like it.
Totally. I like it too. Good. This
That's
is a
fun.
great picture. How many times as a photographer have you photographed the bouquet toss and landed the moment, like caught the exact moment where the bouquet is being caught?
Oh,
Isn't
man.
that a game you play like internally?
Yeah, it is. And it is so hard to get it right sometimes.
is.
It is genuinely so hard.
Yeah.
And to find it where like it's not like a weird, awkward smile. Like that's a pretty smile. She's
Yeah.
obviously happy.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see the excitement in the room.
That picture could go wrong in so many ways. Focus is huge because you have to lock your focus. You have to be ready for the catch. But you're also worried about the bride because she wants to see herself throwing.
Right.
So we would always have two people. So, all right, I'm doing the bride. I'm actually doing the countdown. Like I'm in charge of this moment. So I'll do the countdown. I'm getting the bride. We're going to try it. And we would sometimes do a fake one.
Yep, that happens a lot.
Okay.
I've done that multiple times.
So it really is the way the photographer gets to make sure they nail the picture. So everybody gets excited for twice. So then you do the countdown, but then the toss is such a huge moment for the catch.
Yeah,
So
it's hard to get your flash right in all positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Great
big deal.
picture.
Good catch, whoever this photographer is. We like it. Let's see. This is a great one too.
Wow.
This is a lot of fun. There's a lot of emotion in this picture.
Yes.
How are they doing this?
What was the rating factor we had? Apparent complication.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, this is a hard one to pull off.
Their feet are just barely in the water.
Technically, how are they doing this picture?
We have a slow shutter.
Mm-hmm.
We have either a white card flash or just straight on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, it looks like
Wow.
it's coming straight from the camera, like a white card, but
Yeah.
it's definitely coming on axis with your camera,
Uh-huh.
which is okay. Like for
Oh,
these kind of
yeah.
high energy,
I
it's
love
actually
doing
been
that.
in style for the last 5 or 6 years, like to do kind of
Oh, yeah.
raw looking pictures. Yeah.
Man, I love this one.
So there's the white balance is for the flash. That's why all the background looks super orange.
Yeah.
So that tungsten light back there.
See, I love that because that's something you can miss if you're too cold or too hot. You'll blow out the others.
Yeah.
So we have the nice warm tones with the background light, but then the perfect
Yeah.
Kelvin for the skin too.
What's cool about this picture, they probably hit, in Lightroom, they probably white balanced the dress. It could have been a very blue picture for all we know, but when they edited it so that the dress is white, which is important. But what I like about this too, and I didn't learn this till halfway through, my career,
What is
was the flash stops the action in front of you.
Okay.
And so this slow shutter, the flash and your aperture work together for your subject in front of the flash.
Yes.
But the shutter speed works for everything else in the room. So shutter is ambient light,
I like that.
aperture is for your flash.
It's a good rule of
It's
thumb
important
right
to
there.
know.
Yeah.
So what happens in this picture, you could keep rolling your shutter down as much as you want and your bride isn't going to get overexposed.
Right.
Which
Right.
is so cool to me. It
I love
blew my
doing that.
mind when I realized how that worked. So
I
this
love
is
doing
fun.
this. The flash with the slow shutter during the reception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like a lot of times they'll have the little it's like the little tube with the light in it. And they swing
Right.
around, and they're doing that. It's like a little lightsaber in
Yeah.
camera, and then it's a ton of fun.
Yeah, so play with that, photographers. This is good. This is a good example of how that works.
Definitely.
Okay, we're coming back to this one. We're coming back to this one.
Come back
And-
to that one.
No, actually, oh yeah, we are coming back to this one.
Yeah.
Dang, lots of, okay. So this is great. I love this moment. This one almost made my top list too.
Wow.
This moment feels like we're capturing some intimate thing that's
Yeah.
happening out there. They're alone.
Right. Right. This is what I like to call a fly on the wall image.
Okay, yeah.
So you're not thinking about the photographer. You're thinking about this is just a raw captured moment,
Mm-hmm.
and it just seems so private, and like no one else is around them, which makes it feel so just raw and easy to just access the emotion in this.
And I'll point something out too. Even as we're looking at this picture versus what we just looked at, our voices have toned down.
Why is
We've
that? That's
slowed
so
down
funny.
our cadence. Like I've noticed, like when you were talking, like it actually feels more peaceful in the room.
It does.
Like right now, like that's really cool. So
Like that's definitely something that when you put it in a wall in a certain room, you're gonna instantly feel warm.
wow, that's good.
I love that one so much.
Okay, I like it better and better the more we talk about it. It makes me feel relaxed.
It does. I genuinely feel a wave of just
Because
peace.
in the silent, all right, we're gonna silent in 1, 2, 3. That silence is what it felt like for them standing outside
Yes.
with no one around them.
yes.
Like, it just feels so good. Okay, we could
On the
linger
inside,
here because
looking
it's,
out. I know.
it's very relaxing.
I know.
Let's keep pushing. All right, this is great too. Under the Veil. Oh, cool. I said Under the Veil, and then I noticed the title is actually Under the Veil.
Wow. Shot at f11. That's kind of cool.
That is cool. Thanks for pointing that out, photographer.
That's a good note. It's a good note because I probably would. I don't know if I would have caught that.
So if they'd have shot this at 2.8, what would have happened?
The pillars behind them would have probably been a lot more blurry.
Sure, depth of field would have
Depth of
changed.
field would have changed. It wouldn't have been as sharp, but it does have a little bit of grunge. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, there's
It
some.
still gives it
sure.
just so. I don't know.
Yeah, Well,
I'm going to give this
two,
one a wow factor for me.
if they would have shot this at 2.8, the bride and groom would have disappeared in a blur of whiteness. Like they would have been overexposed
From the veil.
at 2.8. Yeah, they would be glowing, but at f11 you actually see the detail
a little more
within the
transparent.
veil. Yeah, you
Yeah.
see that their chin and their noses, and you see their shape. But at I love that the photographer. If it were me, I would have taken the picture at 2.8, realized, wow, I can't even see that they have heads. It looks like two decapitated bodies standing there.
Right.
So then I would, oh crap, I got to raise my f-stop up.
Yeah.
So they get to f11. I think that maybe even why they pointed out shot at f11, because they
It must
realized
be.
that was a big piece of this picture actually working.
That's good. It's enough for them to know.
Fun.
I'm going to give it a wow factor.
I love it. I love going in and kind of deconstructing photography.
This is so
too.
much fun.
It is fun. All right. This one is my picture. We don't
He
have to
knows it.
judge it, but I love this
Great
moment.
picture, man.
It was a dark, yeah, thanks. I wanted people to say nice picture. But no, the story of this one, as photographers, y'all can look at this and know, we used a video light right next to her behind this wall. We didn't want to change the exposure of a very dark and rainy day. So
Okay. I
instead of
like
using
that.
a flash, we just used a video light on its lowest amount and made this picture work.
That is so cool.
So it's kind of
What
a cool.
venue was that at?
This is at it's down in Mississippi. I forget what it was, like a bed and breakfast kind of place. I forget
I
what
think
it's
I know what
called.
you're talking about.
Thistledome?
Thistledome?
Maybe?
Yeah, it's in Byhalia, I believe.
Maybe that. I forget exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
this one's
love
great.
it.
Love
I
this one.
love this one.
Tell me what you like about it.
It is so the leading lines, man. It's quite literally perfect. Like
Yeah.
every line
Mm-hmm.
is so perfect. You can look at the fan. The fan is direct. It's just perfectly lined up with their head, in the center of their body. It's also lined up with the first tile gap in the floor.
Right.
The
Oh, good
beams.
job, photographer. I love
Yeah.
it when people center things on purpose.
Apparent complication in this one, I'm going to give it a 10
Yeah.
because of, I mean, it's just perfect. It's even the balcony, if that's what I'm looking at, is also really good.
They nailed all the pieces. And they're shooting at a high f-stop because, look, these people are in focus back here. The ceiling fan's in focus.
This is probably 4. I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess it's probably F4. I
At
like that
least.
it has the backlit and then that there's a nice hair light hitting them. I
Yeah.
think it's beautiful.
A lot of good things happening in this picture.
Fun fact: the photographer almost cried during this dance because it was such a rich, beautiful moment. I think I would have cried too if I got a picture that perpendicular.
Such a nerd.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm doing this.
All right. Great moment.
I love that one.
This is one of those times when you're just really glad as a photographer you can capture fireworks and the couple. Like, exposure for this picture is actually really hard. Have you ever done this kind of picture?
It is hard. Exposing for fireworks is not easy. I love it.
If you are exposed with your shutter so that they're not blurry, so you have to be really still. You have to have your shutter down like a 30th of a second or lower to get that much movement in the fireworks. Otherwise, you have these little tiny points of light in the sky,
Right.
and it doesn't look cool.
Right.
So to get that much movement, imagine how much time goes by where that firework is both touching her head and exploding out a few feet.
Now, I may disagree. That may be smoke. The
Yeah,
flash is
that's
doing.
true.
That may be smoke, and that is obviously a low f-stop.
That's
So
true.
it may not be as high a shutter as I thought, but that's a little technical.
There's a little bit of move. There's a little bit
Yeah.
of slow shutter to get the movement of it. But you're right. That's probably a smoke. What's lighting up the smoke? I guess it's the explosion.
The explosion is probably
Yeah.
lighting up the smoke. I love this image because you can almost hear them saying, "We did it," and that's the grand moment. We did it.
Yeah.
Exhale of relief.
Yeah, it's a great ending to the wedding day.
It is.
We did a wedding once with fireworks in the middle of Memphis. The ending of the wedding kept getting delayed and delayed, but they literally had paid probably $100,000 for a fireworks display, and they said,
No.
"We are not gonna not do this fireworks display." It was 1 a.m.
$100,000.
Fireworks started. It was a bigger fireworks display than like the city of Memphis does. This was at the Botanic Garden, and the cops were called. Like,
course.
people were calling the news. Like, nobody knew why all these explosions. Imagine sleeping
Yeah.
in East Memphis, and all of a sudden there are
On a
explosions
random
and
day
booms
in
on a
June.
random
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah. It was so
Wow.
funny, but we got great pictures. They left in a helicopter.
Of course they did. Duh. I mean, that's, you say $100,000 in fireworks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Anyway,
They might
fireworks
as well leave
pictures
in a
are.
UFO.
So lighting the couple here was hard. This probably came from the camera, but there could easily be some lights over here. But we would always use video light to light the couple during fireworks displays, because having a little bit of light on them from a source like that really helps you get the exposure correct, because the fireworks are bright.
Yeah.
And if you're exposing for the couple, when the fireworks go off, they're going to be too bright to be seen.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good little rule of thumb.
So anyway, that's helpful. All right. Let's see. We're coming back to
Ooh.
this one.
Yeah.
And this one is one of mine as well. I liked it just because of the symmetry of the room, but I didn't do a good job. This should have been more perfectly symmetrical. So the right corner, right
I didn't
side
notice it until you pointed it out.
should have come in. I hate that you can see all of this pillar and only half of this pillar.
Right.
So that annoys me. But
Still a great, just
other than
before-
that,
obviously this is before the ceremony and he's just mentally preparing, coming to God and just
Yeah.
having a, personal moment. I love
yeah,
that.
it was real. They were a very faithful kind of couple, and
Those
so
are
this
always so
moment meant a lot
refreshing.
to them. Okay, cool. I think that's the end of the list. No, there's one more.
One
Cool.
more.
I love this one too. This
Shining.
picture, what is it called? Shining.
You have to show off the cufflinks. Yes, you do.
This picture looks like an ad for a suit or for cufflinks. Like it
does.
just looks very cool, very sophisticated.
Good little stream of light coming in.
If I were this groom, I would feel very cool
I
putting
would
that
too.
picture up. I'd use that as like my screensaver on my phone.
I would too. What is that? What is there a cufflink like a certain design? I wish I could see that. We're looking on a TV over here.
I think it's his initials.
Oh, see, that's even cooler.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome.
Okay.
So
good,
we've picked
everybody.
our top 5.
Yeah.
I think we should.
So now
let's
we're
hit
going
'em.
to start judging for real.
Y'all, every one of those pictures deserves a award of their own. Those are awesome. But at the end of the day, we do have our top 5, and then we're going to narrow that down to 1. And one of you are getting a nice little gift at the end of this.
Okay.
So here we
we're
are.
starting with The Getaway.
The Getaway. Let's see it.
Cool title. It's
Oh.
nice to have a good 30 minutes alone after the ceremony to soak it all in, especially in the grass together. So that's cool. So this is a cool moment.
This is a cool moment.
So let's go through the details before we just talk about, like, we both like this picture. The next
Obviously.
5 pictures we show, we love these pictures. They're great. So now we got to get into sort of how to technically dissect them and give them
let's
a score.
digest it a little bit.
Okay. So composition, rule of thirds, architectural awareness, ratio, use of negative space.
I love it. I love using triangles and posing. You have the triangle in the arm, the triangle in the waist, and the triangle in the leg, which is a good rule of thumb for posing.
That's cool.
And I love how it's the negative space of the grass. They darkened that, and that everything else is in sync. And then it also goes back to what you were talking about leaving faces out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love that you're pointing out triangles and posing. That's a great technicality on the rule of thirds. Architectural awareness, architectural isn't there, but the rule of thirds is there, and they're not really adhering to anything from a rule of thirds perspective. But ratio is important. It is a good ratio of the image, but I say but because the negative space for me isn't helpful. Like I would rather the bottom left be cropped up and
Okay. Yeah.
the same amount of space on the left and right. We're gonna get very technical, but
Yes.
if that were happening, that would put the bottom of the dress at the bottom of the picture, the left side of the dress at the left. I would feel it was very proportionally like satisfying.
I see that now. Yeah.
But so there's just a little bit less than great, but there's not a lot of compositional like technicality. So I would say this is like a 6, as in it's
I
just
was gonna
sort
say
of
the same.
fine. Okay.
Let's give it 6 to the composition.
Okay. Cool.
Very nice.
We're
Marking
gonna
that down.
We're gonna agree on that. All right. So fundamentals, exposure, it's great.
Yes.
Color, it's great.
Yeah.
And I say it's great because you can actually see the detail in the dress.
Yes, you can. And that's hard to keep sometimes.
Here's one thing I'm gonna knock it a little bit. I don't even see the groom. I see that there's a hand, kind of.
I'm going to brighten up your screen a little bit right here so I see it.
No, I know, but I don't see any detail in the dark part of the groom. Like I know there's a groom. I see his hand for sure. I know there's a tuxedo back there, but I don't get any detail in his world.
Right. So maybe I would have come back in with a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Just shadowed it a little bit.
Exactly.
I erased some shadows.
Yeah. I would brought out some of that a little bit. So fundamentally, it's not bad. I just think it could be a little better. I would also give it a 6 there too.
Okay.
What
I would
do
agree
you
with
think?
that. I'd agree with a 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Apparent complication.
Apparent complication. Okay. I'm going to go over to 1. The bride had to agree to sit in the grass. Okay.
That's
That's
complicated.
huge. That's huge. That's really
Yeah.
huge. A lot of the times that is a no-go. So kudos to the photographer suggesting it. Kudos to the bride for doing it. And I'm going to give it, just right off the bat, I'm going to give it a 5 for apparent complication. And it's a very raw image, and that's one reason I like it, is because it is raw.
Yeah.
And sometimes those raw images don't have too much apparent complication.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to
That's
stick
true.
with my 5 for that one.
I think 5's good. It's not complicated, but it's something. It's not like a 3.
Yeah,
Like, okay.
definitely.
Okay. As far as story goes, so story / emotion for us and for the recipient, what do you think?
I feel hungry to know what's going on the other side.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So this is one of those pictures that makes me want to see the rest of the gallery.
Yeah.
If I think if you're tracking with me, that makes me want to see the rest of the gallery. So it's like almost like a trailer to the gallery to me. It's like, we get to see this. It's this coming up. It's this leading shot, and here's the faces. So I don't know if I would focus necessarily on a story aspect of it,
Yeah.
but I would focus on I'm hungry to see the rest of the album.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
So maybe not a crazy story, but it's a story type of picture. It could even be the cover of a
Gallery.
movie or a
Yeah.
gallery or something. Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Story. I
number.
guess it's hard for me to judge it upon based upon story, but I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay.
What do you say?
I would say below 5 for things that are kind of boring.
Okay.
So maybe
Not
I would
boring.
give it at least a 5. It's not boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
There's
make
a
it 5
there's a
then.
story there. So I'd say a 5 at least. And then wow factor. I was drawn to this picture.
Yeah, I
Like,
was
I think
too.
there's a little wow to it.
There may be something that we can't even put our finger on, but it definitely gives me a wow, and I would have to say an 8.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's an 8.
I'm gonna save my 8.
Okay, you're gonna save your 8. You're gonna say 7,
There's some more wowful. Yeah. Let's say a 7.
7.5, 7.5.
7.5.
There we go.
Dang. Okay.
Very
so,
nice.
All right. So we got a score for that.
Next,
Let's go to the next picture.
next one over.
There we go.
There we go. Ooh.
Wow.
Uh,
Wow. So let's
Whoa.
start with the wow factor. This one feels wow. Let's go like in reverse on this one.
Okay, we're gonna
Because
go in reverse.
we're already stunned by the wow of
that's
this.
definitely an 8.
This is
This
like
is
what
probably-
I saved my 9 or 10 for. Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna save 10 in case there's some miracle picture, but this is a wow picture.
It definitely is. I will follow you anywhere.
I'm gonna say 9. Are
Yeah.
you okay?
Slap a 9 on that
That's
thing.
like a dang. That's wow. Look at
You have
can
the
see
negative space
Mhm.
of this what looks like a mountain. You have the sky,
Mm-hmm.
and then you still have them lit that you can still see body.
Dang.
And it's so dreamy. I feel like I stepped into a fairy tale world, and it's like or like a lucid dream, and you're just kind of peering off into the distance at this couple in love.
Yeah. Wow.
What everybody wishes that they could have is like just this picture right there.
Yeah. Ah, dude. Where is she looking?
Zoom in.
Oh, she's looking back at him. So good. So we have a wow factor of 9 on this one.
Definitely.
Composition wise, I'm going to say it's beautiful, but I would pull it in from the right a little bit.
Yeah.
All the magic's on the left. If you pulled this in from the right, it would crop down a little bit to more maybe pull it from the top right.
Would you position the couple more on the right, or would you
Yeah.
position? Okay, that right. So they almost be at the third, at the right hand third.
That's so big. If this person nailed that right third with the couple, this picture would be flawless.
Right. I mean, other than that, I really am in love with it.
So composition, being picky, I would give it a 7.
I was gonna say the
they
same
could
thing.
have done some things technically better.
Okay, 7 it is. I'll stick with that.
Fundamentals though, exposure and stopping the water, the detail in the clouds while you're also able to see them, like their fundamentals, I would give it a 9. It's so
Put it a 9 for me.
so great.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Apparent complication.
9.
It's okay.
I mean, think about
Let's
it. You had to
hold-
get on the other side of this.
Oh, dang,
So
that's
this
true.
is not. They could be in a boat. They could be on the other side of this beach. Those are obviously some big waves, and you don't see sand on the right either.
That's true.
So apparent complication. They had to get the couple over there, and you had to go stand somewhere else where
Yeah.
the waves are still crashing.
Yeah, that's very
I'm
true.
gonna have to get her a 9.
Okay. All right, I'll go with you. I would give it an 8 just
Okay.
because I think there are some more difficult, but everything you're pointing out is so true, but I'm going to give it a 9 with you
Let's do it.
because I think that's
8.5.
Okay.
8.5.
If half a point separates this from winner, we'll have to come back and talk about it, but
That's right.
8.5 is good. Story, it feels like we're watching a movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It really does. We said that.
So I'm going to give it, I would give it an 8.5 again on story. Just because there could be more that I want to hold, like that extra 1.5 points for, like,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm crying when I look at it.
Okay.
This this feels very story driven, but I don't know. I would even give it an 8. It's cinematic, but I don't know that it's necessarily telling a story other than I'm amazing.
Yeah, that's okay. 8. Give it an 8 for me.
Okay.
That's still great photo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So dreamy.
So this one,
Oh man,
Somewhere Only We Know. Great title.
that is a good
Kind of
title.
poetic.
We're gonna start a story. We gotta start a story right here.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this one does scream story
Yeah.
because
does.
it's not like your, maybe huge print on the wall,
Mm-hmm.
but this is definitely one of those intimate photos. This is we just did it. Let's
Yeah.
go to our reception. Let's go and let me carry you down. Like
Yeah.
it's a sweet moment.
There's a lot happening there. There's femininity and masculinity happening here. He's not wearing a jacket, so he's sort of like, he's ready to work. He's showing strength.
Yeah.
She looks vulnerable.
Ooh.
And I love that about this
Yeah.
picture. She looks feminine and vulnerable. She needs him.
And he
To
looks
help
ready
her.
to serve.
He's ready to serve. He's ready. He's got her.
Yeah.
Like this, the more I talk, this is goosebump. Like this
Yeah.
is wow factor. This is goosebumps. Because when you get into this story, there's so much going on. They were up there being perfect on top of a rock doing a picture probably, which was probably a good picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a beautiful scene.
But
But
the
the
artist
emotion-
knew not to submit that one.
Right.
And I think that shows a lot of artisticness in that.
Yeah. Dude, that's okay. I'm excited.
All right, what are we rating this one?
Okay, so story, this one is the kind I would give a 10 to.
Okay.
I would give a 10 on story.
I'm gonna have to give it a 9.
Okay, so 9.5.
9.5.
And for wow factor, I literally got goosebumps talking about this picture. I could cry if I kept talking about this picture.
Okay. Wow factor.
But I would probably say a 9.
Okay. I'm gonna have to say an 8.
Okay, so 8.5.
Yep.
Okay, apparent complication. This I
It's
don't
part
know.
of the, it's part of the thing with the story, right?
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's not always sometimes the apparent complication doesn't transfer into the story.
Right.
And that happens most of the time.
That's okay.
That happens most of the time because the story is something that's captured raw. That
So-
wasn't posed.
This was not posed, and so I would give the photographer apparent complication credit because they were willing to choose the picture that wasn't the complication picture.
And they snapped the picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm
there's
down
like an
with that.
awareness that isn't even on this list, an artistic awareness of a moment happening. Like we aren't calibrating for that. But
Yeah.
I think that's apparent complication. Like,
I think you're right.
we'll put that in that category. Okay.
I'm going to give it a 6. Apparent complication.
Okay. I would give it an 8. So we'll
Meet
go
a 7?
down to a 7.
Meet a 7. There we go.
I'm saying that just because I love that the photographer submitted this one instead of the perfect one.
Yeah. Y'all could probably sell this print to Donnie at this point. Just
I'm about to buy this picture.
you just DM him on Shoot the Veil.
Absolutely. All right. Fundamentals, I mean, exposure. The color in this is beautiful. I love
Agreed.
the depth of field that's in focus. Like, you can
The
see
river.
where we are.
The sky. It's
Man.
all, even the little bird right in the center. Do you see that?
Oh my goodness.
There's
Yeah.
a little bird.
Yeah.
Perfectly right in the little center.
Are you sure that's not on my screen?
Nope, I'm sure because I looked at your computer too. Because I was about to say you got some dirt on the TV,
Yeah.
and then I was like, wait a minute, that's a bird.
It's cool. So there's a really great depth of field, but all of this, sometimes when you raise your f-stop up a lot, you get really ugly shadows, but that didn't happen here.
No,
you
it
have
didn't.
great, beautiful dynamic range between the darks and the lights. And
You can definitely tell this is like 15 minutes into blue hour, and it's just an even dispersed light.
yeah.
Very nice.
Okay, so fundamentals of photography, this one is up there for me.
8.
Yeah, I'd agree. 8.
8.
And then composition, they're nailing the thirds.
Nailing it. Yep.
So it's all happening at the bottom. I like it when action's happening low in a picture and there's lots of negative space.
I do too. It's the perfect screensaver.
It really is
I mean,
good.
you have your clock right up there next to the bird. And
There's no
notification.
wasted negative space. Like, I don't think.
Nope.
It's perfect.
Yep. You have 1/3 with the subject, you have 1/3 with the background, and 1/3 of negative space.
So what would you give it?
For composition?
This is like the poster child for composition and technical.
Ooh, 8.
Yeah.
8
Let's
for
go
me.
8. Okay. Awesome.
All right.
That was beautiful.
2 more pictures.
Okay. This one's cool.
This one's really cool.
We have, I mean, this feels like it's an ad for that cologne.
Wedding or cologne ad. That's what they. That's
Oh,
what they
that's what it's
titled
called.
it.
Yeah. So
so
Chanel is not sponsoring us, but if we wrote "Shoot the Veil Back Here,"
Yeah,
I bet Chanel would be very excited to buy this picture.
I think you're right.
I like the action. Like, it feels like even just his leg moving forward. Like, it feels like he's moving into. He just like sprayed a puff of cologne and he's walking into it. The elbow bent. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. The line here of the light is perfectly leading our eye to this action here in the middle.
It's well thought out.
Yeah.
It's well thought out, and I wonder how much of it. I mean, it could. This one I don't know. It could be post. Mm-hmm. It could be a candid.
Yeah.
I don't know, but either way, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go from the top. Composition,
8.
kind of nailing the thirds.
I'm nailing it.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the composition on that.
Nothing.
Fundamentals, you have great exposure. It's interesting. They went black and white, which helps you see a lot more detail. That was an editing choice.
Most of these are black and white.
Yeah.
They
there's a
know.
lot of-
They know. Yeah.
Interesting. So fundamentals, it's not an overly difficult. They put, I mean, you can tell it's like probably a 51.8. Like, it's just so buttery background. So it's not super hard. The fundamentals are, I would just say, fine. It's not like that wave picture with the sun and getting the exposure was really hard. This one, getting the exposure wasn't hard. So fundamentals, though, I'd say are fine, but it's not mind blowing.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Apparent complication, same thing. It's not complicated.
You know, I'm gonna have to disagree. I feel like this may be a little more. I would say he said, "Hey, probably come to your clone right here," because he did see that line of light.
Okay.
He did see that.
It's no accident. Yeah, that's
That's no
true.
accident. He could have turned the guy around. He could, but he faced him towards the beam of light. He knew to have that one triangle of dark, the triangle of light.
Got it.
So, in apparent complication, I would have to give this a 7.5 to 8.
Okay. Well, we'll go with a 7.
We'll go with
I
a
was going to
7.
go lower, but I definitely see it. It's more than a 5.
It's more than a 5.
Yeah, you're right. Story. I think there's some good things about this picture. It's not a complicated story though. It's more of a cool picture than a deep story.
Yeah,
So I would just say a 5.
Works for me.
Wow factor.
It caught my eye.
It definitely is an eye-catching picture.
For a detail shot. I mean, that is something that would be posted in a magazine because it is ooh, I like that. It's simple. It's fiery. It's good.
No doubt.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. I was gonna say 6, so we'll go 6.5.
Perfect.
I'm impressed by this picture as an ad.
Okay.
For a wow factor.
And that's a great title they chose is, getting ready or wedding or cologne ad.
Yeah. All right. So final
last one
selection here.
Man, I just love this one.
It is a wow
I just
factor.
love this one. Can I talk about this for a minute? I never see a photographer go under an overpass like that, but I'm so glad that they did.
That's true. Glad. This is like a overpass on a highway or something.
Yeah, this is a multi-lane highway.
Yeah.
And the fact that the light is just butter right through. You have the dark and you have the light side. Her hair is like just so glowy.
Yeah.
It's not like crazy, but it's like just the perfect glow.
Yeah.
They're perfectly lined up with the middle bracket and the overpass.
Yep.
The what are the beams? What am I trying to say?
Pillars.
Pillars. Thank you.
Columns. Yeah.
Perfect.
The lines up here at the top are leading to them, which is cool. They're perfectly balanced between the two pillars. Yeah, I see what you mean. That's really, really cool. The lighting's dreamy. A lot of this is post-processing. Like they did a great job editing this picture.
Definitely did. I would love to see the before.
Yeah, that's interesting. All right, let's give it some numbers. Let's start with wow factor. We both agree this is a really wow factor.
Yeah.
Just because it's beautiful. They did a great job on post. I would say like 7.5 or 8.
Okay, let's meet at 8. I think that's awesome.
Story, it's more of a cool picture than a story.
Right. I would agree.
I'd say a 7 on story.
Give it a 7 for me.
Apparent complication, to your point, though, they had to find a way to take a cool picture under an overpass. Like the photographer chose this place for a reason, which is impressive.
And probably went out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and for the couple as well. So, I mean, nobody says, hey, what kind of feel you think of your photos? An overpass? And then they get something that good. I mean, apparent complication, I'm going to have to go with an 8.
Yeah, I'd agree. The photographer could be standing in the middle of the road for all we know.
Very well could have been. Or on the other side of the river.
Because I've done that. I've totally stood, in very dangerous places, which is fun. Apparent complication. Yeah. Fundamentals, it's a great picture. It doesn't seem super complicated, but there's a great dynamic range. The exposure's good. They're sharp where they need to be sharp. I'd go with 7 just because it isn't like overwhelming, but it's fine. It's good. They did a good job.
It's 7.5.
Yep.
Okay.
Composition wise, they're nailing the thirds.
It is so nailed for me. I have to give it a 9.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because I love the spacing on the side of the pillars. If you have architectural lines in your picture, if you have architecture at all, if you don't get it perfect, it's annoying.
Yes.
Because every time you look at that picture, just like if one frame on your wall is slightly tilted, all you're going to see is that.
Mm-hmm.
So don't distract your audience. Get your lines right. If this photographer was one step to the right or left, this picture wouldn't be as good.
Yes.
So
that's so true.
Nail it. The photographer's lined up exactly where he needs to be. She needs to be.
All right, let's calculate this and let's give our winner.
Okay, so
let's do it.
I don't want to do math live on the air. Cut. So everybody, we have the winner. I've just added it all up. The winner won by 0.5 point.
0.5 point.
So that's crazy. I'm surprised it was that close. So
here we go.
The winner is.
What's the name of the photo?
Okay, let me do that.
Oh, he would just.
The winner is I Will Follow You Anywhere.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
That one was so good.
And tell us who the photographer is. You looked it up.
I looked it up, and the photographer is, drumroll everybody, Andrew Cunningham.
Awesome.
Congratulations, brother. You won the competition.
That's a powerful image.
That is a powerful image, man. It's so print worthy. It's worthy to be anywhere.
Yeah. So good job, Andrew. Well done. That picture, I can't wait to hear the story from you about how you took this picture, where you were, what was happening, because you got tons of points on wow factor and apparent complication. the fundamentals are great, but the complication of this picture, I think, was what put it over the top.
Definitely
beating out one of the others that was
Definitely
my
did.
favorite.
So Andrew, congratulations. You also get the first person to hold the badge of a Shoot the Veil photo competition winner.
Awesome.
We're sending you the $100 gift card to B&H. Grab yourself a nice SD card, battery, or whatever it might
bag.
be. As we wrap this thing up, I have one more thing to say. The big day is around the corner where everything becomes public with this. For the past few weeks, we have been perfecting it, and this is finally going public. And to kick that off, we're doing a huge giveaway. So stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram at Shoot the Veil and become a member at shoottheveil.com. And that way you can keep up to date with everything we're doing, connect, create, and grow with all the members, and just overall have a fun time. We will see you guys next week, and get ready for this big launch. We are super pumped.
Thanks, shooters. See you later.
See you later.